This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
Maria Taylor alongside Chris Sims and Mike Florio, and we're here to break down an amazing Week 4. And we might as well start, guys, with an NFC West matchup between Arizona and the Rams. And now the Cardinals are the only remaining undefeated team in the NFC. Is this something that we imagined would happen when the season started?
Well, I don't know if I thought they would be the last team undefeated in the NFC, but certainly, like, the way they've played, the playmaking ability on both sides of the ball. You know, there's just a point in every game right now where, yeah, you might hold the Cardinals offense to a stalemate for a drive or two, but they're going to explode. They're just too explosive on that side of the ball with Kyler Murray, and that's Mike's favorite player. So I know he's excited as can be about, you know, Kyler Murray and what he's done to this point.
But this one was stunning because the Cardinals could have lost in Week 2 to the Vikings, should have lost if the Vikings had a kicker who could make a field goal from 37 yards as time ran out. And then they were trailing the Jaguars in Week 3. The Rams had been outclassing their opposition. I thought the Rams were at a higher level than the Cardinals. That's why I was so stunned by this. And the Rams had beaten the Cardinals 8 times in a row with their primary quarterback being Jared Goff. They upgraded to Matthew Stafford. I did not see this one coming, Chris. I know you didn't see it either. We were both stunned by the outcome. But, hey, this builds confidence for the Cardinals, for Kyler Murray, and we'll see if they can keep it rolling. They got the 49ers this week.
I think that's the big thing. It builds confidence for them to go like, wait, we're battle-tested. We're as good as anybody in the NFC. And I am with Mike. I mean, I thought the Rams were kind of in a class of their own. They kind of messed it up themselves a little bit today. Stafford has the interception. Sony Michel, of course, fumbles early on in the football game. That kind of put them behind the 8 ball for a period of time. But I think the thing that, like, Mike and I talk about a lot on PFT a little bit at least is just Arizona. You talk about Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt up front, and then the athletic linebackers and Budda Baker and Byron Murphy, and then you go onto the offense with the playmakers there. That's where I think Mike and I, and probably you as well, Maria, we go, man, Arizona's here to stay with that many playmakers.
Yeah, and you partner that defense with an offense that has had at least 30 points and at least 400 yards of offense in all 4 games, and you're impressed and you're undefeated. Let's move right along to the Panthers taking on Dallas. Now, remember, the Panthers went on the road. They started the season 3-0, but it was Dak Prescott. It was the Cowboys. It was their offense, really, that showed up and made a difference, and now the Cowboys haven't lost since Week 1.
No, and I think the thing that's amazing about the Cowboys on the offensive side of the ball is I think when we started the season, we were in Tampa, you're like, all right, I guess they're going to throw the ball every play and just win on Dak Prescott's right arm. But we've seen here for the last 3 weeks, like the two-headed monster of Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott and the run game, and now it's just going to make their pass game that much harder to defend as we go along. It's the most balanced offense in football. And then I think that coupled with Dan Quinn's new energy he's brought to the defensive side of the ball and them just causing a turnover here and there, pretty good for you so far. I mean, the Cowboys, I was wrong about that. They're the class of the NFC East for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I look at Dak Prescott's numbers, I see 14 for 22, 188. I say that's a pretty good first half. What did he do in the second half? That was the whole game. And he still threw 4 touchdowns. They have balance that we had said in the aftermath of that Week 1 game when he threw it 58 times. It's not physically sustainable. They're running it more than they're passing it. They still scored 36 points, and they made the Panthers' defense look like just another ordinary unit. I mean, this one to me is the counter to the Cardinals-Rams. I think I expected to see the Cowboys separate from the Panthers. I didn't expect to see the Cardinals separate from the Rams.
Yeah, Cardinals, you know, I mean, the Carolina Panthers, you know, just, hey, a few too many mistakes, turnovers there in the second half, the interceptions. You know, I still think they're a really good football team. This is not the last we've heard of them. But Dallas is, I think, really special. And you could argue maybe the best offense in football.
Yeah, and speaking of those interceptions, we got to give a shout-out to Trayvon Diggs. He has 5 interceptions on the season, and he had 2 interceptions against the Panthers. So it's great to see him having a great start to this season. Let's move along to Pittsburgh, taking on Green Bay. They had to go to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, and it wasn't that great of a day for the Steelers because ultimately Rodgers has 3 total touchdowns in this one and gets the win.
Well, yeah, I mean, they ever since that Week 1 loss, right, Mike? I mean, we've talked about this a lot. They're playing pretty good defense, and then on offense, they're just efficient. You know, they're efficient, and then Rodgers, you know, is going to make like 3 or 4 throws every game. That's going to kind of put them in a position to win the football game. So I'm not shocked by the outcome. I mean, the Steelers are kind of reeling, and really the story of that game to me is more of like Pittsburgh's offense, lack of Big Ben. That's still a big question as we go forward, right, Mike?
It looked like it was going to be different, though, at first. It kind of reminded me of Week 1, and I envisioned Mike Tomlin all week getting in his guys' ears, saying no one's giving you a chance, just like he did before they went to Buffalo and beat the Bills. They're up 7-0. I'm thinking, uh-oh. Somebody woke up the Steelers. Here we go. But it was just that slow suffocation we see so many times at Lambeau Field between the defense doing just enough and the Aaron Rodgers-led offense just getting their points, getting their touchdowns, getting their lead and holding on to it. And, yeah, it's panic time for the Steelers. Mike Tomlin said this week it's too early to press the panic button. I think at 1-3, it's time to start mashing that thing.
Okay, the greatest thing that you said is the panic button, because remember Aaron Rodgers, don't panic.
Relax.
Relax. Okay, chill out when you lose a game. And ultimately now he's responsible for 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and they've had 3 straight wins. So they're feeling really good as the Packers continue to roll. All right, what about the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles? Remember the Chiefs had a 2-game losing streak, so there were some concerns there about the offense.
Yeah.
I think they showed us that they found some consistency against the Eagles.
Yeah, consistency, didn't get bored with the game. Like, yeah, you're going to have to be, they got to be able to prove to people first that they're going to be able to go and 10-play, 80-yard drive, 12-play, 80-yard drive, and not screw it up themselves. I think that's how teams are playing them. They're just going, we're not going to let you have a big play. We think you'll get impatient and mess it up at some point. And hopefully they corrected that today. I've never seen them run the ball the way they did today. That's exciting. Maybe that can get defenses to creep back up a little bit, and then we can see more of that traditional Kansas City bombs away offensive attack.
It was funny when I talked to Patrick Mahomes after the game. He spoke of the patience that they need to have offensively, and they need to lean on the running game, and they need to start getting the secondary to creep back up so they can go over the top. And he understands that, and he said to me at one point, as I've gotten older, I realize you can't throw it like you did in the Big 12 every game. It's like, he's 26. Come on, man. You need a little perspective, Patrick. You're not old.
I was literally just thinking that. I was like, he's talking like he's Brady, and he's 44 years old, but he's not. But he is right. There were 200 yards rushing for the Kansas City Chiefs, so that's a little bit of the balance that you're talking about on offense. But defensively, I mean, what have you seen from the Chiefs so far? They gave up 30 to the Eagles. What do you need to see?
I mean, they really haven't played a good game yet on the defensive side of the ball. People are running the ball on them at will. There seems to be a coverage breakdown in every game at some point. And really, the last thing is, I think Maria, and I think Mike Florio agrees with this, I never expected their defense to be top 5, top 10. Their defense wants to be put in a position by their offense to be, hey, we're up by 14, we're up by 20, and now Steve Spagnuolo can be really creative with his crazy blitz zones and different coverages, and Chris Jones and Frank Clark can just come off the edge, and they don't have to worry about a run game. Mm-hmm. They have to rely on the offense to put them in that spot, especially right now when they're not playing their best football.
Okay, so that's a team that's not playing very good defense. Let's talk about a team that's playing great defense. In the Houston and Buffalo game, there was another shutout, and the Bills already have 2 on the season in the first 4 weeks. It's very impressive. I'm going to let you start talking about the defense this time, just so we can give them a little love to start.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. I mean, because we always want to talk about Josh Allen, right, and Stephon Diggs, but the Buffalo defense has been the star of the show for the 2021 season for the Buffalo Bills. It really has. And I don't think I expected that. I certainly didn't. I thought, okay, yeah, maybe they'll be a little bit better than they were last year. But every week, they have one of those defensive game plans where when I turn on the film, I go, wait, the team was trying to throw the ball over here to the right, and somehow McDermott and Leslie Frazier have everybody dropping over there where they're trying to throw the football. So they're obviously very good at their breakdowns that way, and then they're winning the line of scrimmage as far as stopping the run, getting after the quarterback, and causing turnovers. It's pretty awesome.
And I think part of the reality is in today's NFL, the teams are so clustered together. So many of the games go down to the wire any given Sunday. And all other related cliches, we look for those teams that are dominant. And the Bills, Chris and Maria, are becoming that dominant team right before our very eyes. Right. They blew it at home week 1 to the Steelers somehow. Since then, they have kicked the crap out of everybody with 2 shutouts. Only the 3rd team since 1990 to have 2 shutouts in the first 4 games. The NFL, under today's rules, is not set up to make shutouts happen.
You're right.
It's rare to get a shutout. To have 2 of them in 4 weeks is amazing.
Yeah, and the last time that happened, it was the 2000 Baltimore Ravens, and they had an excellent defense. They went on to win a Super Bowl, but a great matchup coming up for the Bills as they have to go on the road and take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And guess what? That's our Sunday night game. So
oh, baby.
Tune in for Week 5. All right, it's time for our speed round. It is a QB edition, and I'm going to give you a name. You tell me what they were. So Zach Wilson was what in Week 4?
I mean, a playmaker. I think that's the thing I looked at. He got outside the pocket a few times, directed traffic. He's too athletic to be sitting in there all the time trying to make the right throw. So that was what excited me today about Zach Wilson.
Mike?
Electric, absolutely. And this is the guy that Chris predicted he would be. when he said he's the best guy in this draft class. We've been waiting, and he finally had his moment. So hopefully more of them are coming.
Finally, Chris had a moment. All right. Daniel Jones was what in week 4?
Clutch. Now get off his back, haters. I mean, he's not the problem with the New York Giants football team. And hopefully today we'll show some people. I mean, they won that game because of him and his right arm and his ability to throw the ball down the field, outside the numbers. And Saquon Barkley looked pretty good too. But way to go, Daniel Jones.
Yeah, somebody asked me this week, will the Giants go 0-17? And I said, are you crazy? They're in every game. They're going to get their wins. And to go into New Orleans, the first game back in the Superdome, with fans present, with everything lined up against the Giants, to hang around, to force it overtime and win the game is phenomenal. Could be the kind of game that wakes up Daniel Jones.
Yeah, career high 402 yards passing for Daniel Jones and the win against the Saints. All right, Justin Fields was
smooth. That's what he was. Like, real smooth today. You know, the game never looks too big for Justin Fields. That's the thing I love about him. He's going to make a few plays moving around. And then throwing the football, he was pretty much on the money. People were open. He threw nice spirals, made a few big plays. He doesn't have to carry the team. As long as he can just make a few plays and make the defense adjust to his skill set, the Bears will be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, improving. That's what we wanted to see. And we wanted to see different from what we saw last week when they just plugged Justin Fields into the Andy Dalton offense.
Right.
They needed to do some different things. We saw that today. They did enough. It was the Lions. So we'll see what happens when they play somebody better if Fields keeps playing.
Justin Fields, 11 for 17, 209 yards passing. That's way better than netting out 47 yards on offense.
A little bit.
Yeah, from week 3. All right, Mike Florio, great job. Chris Sims, you did all right. Either way, we'll see you for week 5. Football night in America starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we got Buffalo Bills taking on Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be a great one.
I don't like you.
You're cool.
I don't like you.
All right.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.